You know what I'd say, Joe, is that we hurt ourselves. And for Guti to make that action, put his whole team in jeopardy and really put us behind the eight ball. Third game in a week, some fatigue in the legs, a lot of travel. And I think for a player to do that is irresponsible. And so anything that happens after that point is almost a moot point because, this is an example of us really hurting ourselves in a situation where we had good control of the game.
I want to follow up and ask you about the second red card. I think there were a lot of discussion around whether that was the right call or not. There's a really long video check. I wonder if you have any thoughts on that decision.
No, I mean, I just think that, I think that when you're called over to VAR, you're called over for a reason, right? You have the experts that are there in a calm situation and they're seeing the play and they're saying, okay, this is what happened. And, for the referee to go and then double down on an error is confusing to me. When you look at the play, it's even more confusing. He wins the ball completely, almost barely makes contact with the guy. So that was disappointing because it's actually a moment in the game when we changed our shape a little when we were putting some pressure on NYC. So we're disappointed with that, but we gotta keep moving.
Are there any major positives you think you can take away from this in spite of the result?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you look at the guys that were actually on the field, they gave everything they had, and you saw a group that I think was grinding for each other. And I think another positive, we got Leo back. We got him some minutes, which is important. And I think the effort. It's when you have that much adversity and you keep going, you don't give up. I think that says a lot about this group.
Thanks, Eve.
Thank you. Joe, do you have another question before we go to Zoom?
You're good to go to Zoom.
Great. Thank you. Next, we'll go to Tim Hotsey from Men in Red 97.
Hey, Greg, thanks for taking the time. So I don't want to make this all about the reffing, but it was pretty clear from early on the way the ref was calling the game, was not afraid to give out cards, call fouls, and stuff like that. Is that a discussion at halftime just to make sure the guys, aware of being up a goal but down a man for the second half, that, you need to be aware of how the ref is going? And how do you think your squad responded, I guess kind of excluding that kind of red card with whatever the circumstances were in the second half on Davila?
Yeah, I think it was a confusing situation for everyone, for both teams. I think the referee boxed himself in and put himself in a difficult position by his behavior early in the game, and it led to that fiasco. But again, I would rather not talk about the referee because it is what it is, right? You have to keep playing and you have to try to get the results that help your team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Alex Campbell from CHGO.
Hey, Greg. Thanks always for the time. You mentioned that getting Leo Barroso some minutes was a positive. Given he's a young player, given he's been out for a while, what's your post-game message to him, given the way he struggled a bit on those first two NYC goals?
Yeah, I mean, it was, that's the interesting thing is that you saw he was lacking rhythm. And, as a result, we conceded goals. But I think as he starts to build and as he continues to gain his fitness, he's going to help the team because you saw also really moments of brilliance from him. Unfortunate plays on the goals, especially the second one. But, for him, he's been out a while. So, the talk to him is positive and continue to move on and improve and get better.
Tim, I see your hand is still up. Do you have another question?
Tim got back to his Memorial Day barbecue.
Sorry. No, Pineda looked like he was in discomfort. Obviously, had to come off early.
Yep.
I just wanted to know if there's any update on his status. It looks like he's going to be okay.
Well, we don't know. No update.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. We don't have any other questions in the room.
Alex has
thank
one
you for
here.
your time.
Alex has one in the room.
Yeah, real quick one. I guess seeing
Short
it
and
up close,
sweet.
it was a lot easier to see the size of the field here and how narrow it was in the sun and all that. So I'm curious if you had any thoughts on that and its impact on the game.
You guys are giving us a lot of outs, right? Now we have the size of the field, we have the sun, we have the referee. I mean, it comes down to we didn't perform well enough to win the game, and it's simple as that. And we made a really bad mistake, a bad decision by Guti that put his team in jeopardy, and we lost the game. All the other factors, both teams had to deal with. So it's to me, it's very clear.
And just Greg, last one for me. What needs to be learned from this, just as a group, when you have such a result like this that's just going to be frustrating?
No, I think I think there's a couple things. We got to move forward from this game, right? We're erase it as quickly as possible. But for Guti, it needs to be a learning experience. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. Got suspended in the Columbus game after the disciplinary looked at a play, very similar type of play. He needs to do some soul searching, and he needs to figure out why this is recurring. And then the rest of the group, I think it gives them confidence that they can grind. I mean, these guys didn't quit; they didn't give up. It didn't look like it was our third game in a week, and that's I think the important thing. So, we're going to keep going and go down to Orlando and try to get a result.